All right, this will be a quick video. Some advice from me that I wish I took much earlier. That's like so important. Is don't waste your time doing stuff that is just a complete waste of time. Sounds like kind of common sense, but the amount of people that I see doing this, where they're putting in their effort into something that like just gives them no return, that really is just completely pointless, is incredible. There's people like who decide to like commit their lives to solving Rubik's cubes, or like there's people who spend a lot of time learning about boxing or learning about, I don't know, something not useful. Like they're obsessed with like the gym and just like building muscle in their shoulders and just getting bigger and bigger. Or it could be anything, like some kind of video game or some kind of whatever. And of course that could just be like your hobby or whatever, but it doesn't really give you a return, and you're gonna regret putting all your effort and time into that, when the thing that's gonna propel you forward and actually get a woman that you love, like have a woman love you and have your family be happy because that you're so successful. What's actually gonna help you and your kids, and how your kids will live their life, and the school that you could send them to, is increasing your financial status and improving your finances and becoming more wealthy. That's gonna be what fixes like 90% of the problems, man. You could train in the gym harder and harder, but if you were just wealthier, you could just get like a personal trainer to keep you accountable. You know, you could try to become famous on YouTube and try to get like more views and more views. But if you had money, you could just like make the connections to get a great editor and to make the videos higher quality, and just use that as leverage to make the videos even better and better. And you could then connect with people and like collaborate with more and more creators to get your views, to get your views out there. Instead of like, learning all about boxing, there's a guy who doesn't know anything about boxing, but just has a weapon on him that could just like completely destroy you if like an event happened, like a bad event. There's this guy that I know who's like obsessed with self-improvement in my apartment, and he's a nice guy, but he's 27 years old, so he's much older than me, and he was always obsessed with like making money, but he couldn't really figure it out. And he went to college, and now he's like working a job as like a teacher's assistant, but he doesn't really like it. And he always had this ambition of becoming like a millionaire, but he couldn't figure out how. And now he's spending all of his time in the gym and learning about boxing and just becoming obsessed with boxing, when that's not what propels you forward, man. That the thing that it's all stemming from the fact that you're not getting girls, and because you're not wealthy, and that like a component of that is like your sexual market value, and you don't have any, because boxing won't increase your sexual market value, man. You got to focus on the things that will increase that, and it's going to be your looks and your money, and also like who you are as a person and the experience that you have, just like as a man. And this goes for women too. Like women need to focus on the things that matter, like focus on your diet, focus on probably just being skinnier, because that's going to attract a lot more men, and like improving your body, and also improving your looks, and have a strong connection with the Lord, and go to church, and don't just like focus on promiscuity. Same with men too, because that's just going to destroy you. It's like ridiculous the amount of people that I know who like start focusing on rock climbing when they're in their 20s, or like when they're in their teenage years, when like you need to be building this foundation for yourself so that you can afford to start doing these hobbies later on in your life. But if you start becoming obsessive with these hobbies now, it's not going to get you far. Trust me, it's not going to get you far. Now, look, you could do your hobbies. This is just my piece of advice. You don't have to do this, but I really regret wasting a lot of my time in the gym and just like trying to build muscle. When the funniest thing is that like going to the gym all the time, I was doing it very much incorrectly, and like the thing that would have gotten me 90% of the results that I wanted was just like getting leaner and like moving more and eating more protein, instead of like lifting weights and torturing myself with these like freaking repetitious like reps of just doing bicep curls all day, lifting heavy weights over and over, when it achieves nothing. When you actually become busy and then you can't work out for like 2 months, which will eventually happen to you and it'll catch up, that it'll just like you lose it like very quickly. And it's just like realizing that, oh my god, like I should just like putting all this effort and doing like 1 to 2 hours a day grinding, and like making sure I eat like these protein shakes and like meat, and like constantly in my head, when there's a guy who just like focused on his career and is now making like $500,000 a year, and really start, and like, or maybe he became an entrepreneur and started his own business. Well, I've been lifting heavy weights for like 2 years straight, and it got me nowhere. And it's not just the gym, anything, video games, even worse. Friggin' all these self-improvement habits, bro, like reading books, right? Like you can, it's not bad. But I think that's gonna get you 90% of the results is learning a skill and making money with that skill, and making sure the skill that you learn has a high amount of leverage that'll allow you to have a very high amount of income long term if you stay in the skill, and if you stay in that career, in that field. And yeah, that's it. That's going to get you 90% of the results. And also like leaning down. That's it.